funny story. Don't no, before you leave.
Okay, welcome to Northern Black Hills Rotary. We'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and our four-way test. So,
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test are the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it the truth?
Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
and fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All right. Well, I guess we could start with introductions, and I know we've got a few guests here, so would you mind introducing yourself to everybody?
I'm Ken Feig from Sturgis. My wife's Jeannie, and just came up to see what it was all about, I guess, and hear you're a great speaker.
I'm not the one you're hoping for, but I hope I will.
Well, great. Welcome to our club. And anybody else in the room? No? No anybody else? Are there any announcements?
Brief announcement, Berta, our usual server, is away this week, and today's server is named Sierra.
Sierra the server. Anything else? Maybe before we go to the drawing, I'll mention.
Take up some time.
Yeah. All right.
More filler.
So I'll just give you an update on the meetings that are coming up. So today, Kelly is talking about Ski for Life. She'll tell you all about that. Next week, Darren Douglas of Terrapin Pods is going to talk about starting a podcast. So I told Kelly she should start a podcast on everything that's going on at Spearfish. She can let us know.
Because she's part of it.
Regularly. Yes. Exactly. She needs something else to do. So. After that, on February 1st, Ashley Kirshner of BHSU Trio. We'll talk about the Trio program at BH. We need a speaker for February 8th. So if anybody have...
There's a possibility you might have it.
Okay. So if you have a speaker idea, you can let Shauna know, and she'll get them on the schedule. But February 8th is open. And then on the 15th, Steve Meeker of BH will talk about the foundation of BH. So those are our upcoming speakers. Anything else? Yes, Tom.
Hey, I brought this up before, but I want to have you think as Rotarians about being a substitute for Meals on Wheels. It's a really, it's a good program. I mean, some of those people, that's the only meal they get a day. And so we as people who distribute it, not always to make it, and then trying to find a substitute, very difficult. So if you ever think it would only take an hour and a half at most, you have to use your vehicle, and it would mean a lot if you were interested in helping out. And also I mentioned to the presidents that another community project I think we should do is look at is a blood drive. And they haven't done one for quite a while here because the people in Rapid City weren't staffed enough to do it. They are now, and so I'm going to talk to them and see what's available and do it maybe at the Methodist Church where we can, it works good there because it's all on the same level. And if we sponsor something like that, we would probably provide the cookies and little things for the people and drinks. But then I'm going to put a challenge out to the other organizations to match our efforts in the blood drive. So.
Is there someone we should let know if we can be like an alternative to Meals on Wheels? Like do it like.
You stop at Hickory House.
Okay.
And Lady Gail's the lady there that manages that.
Okay.
And they'll direct you there, and she'll take your name and information.
Well, and on that note, in the last board meeting, we discussed making it sort of a formal obligation for members of the club to fulfill at least one service project per quarter, so for a year. So whether that's giving blood or trash cleanup or whatever, you know, if you can commit to one of each quarter, that would be a huge help.
And if you have ideas, like
Yep.
the windows, that would have been one, but if
Yep.
anybody has any ideas, that fit within our 7 service focus areas.
And along that lines, I put together this document. It's just a start, but it's I divided it into 3 categories. Things we do, so things that we actually go out into the community to do, or so an example would be the 6th grade 4-way essay contest. We sort of organize that, we evaluate that, we give away the prizes. The Madagascar School Grant Project, Rotary Pond, and all the work we do there. So the things we do, the donations we make, so we donate money to the Artemis House, Good Shepherd Clinic, Food Pantry, and so on. And then our income, how do we get the money? And so I'm putting together this list. You can see the donations list is quite long. And the things we do list is a little bit shorter, and the income list, I have 2 things, but there's actually one, it's the pipe and grade. That's how we make our income, right? So, you know, it's very important that everybody shows up to that, because that is our one source of income right now. But I'd like you to think about maybe another way we could have a fundraiser in the community. And we'll be talking about that over the next few months at our board meetings or here. You can send your ideas to me or Tony or both of us. But I'd like us to start thinking about that. We had beer, brats, and bingo and polka, and we haven't done that for a few years because of COVID, and we decided to move away from that and think about another way to raise funds in addition to pipe and grade. So just keep that in your head, and if you've got an idea, we'll start putting those together and hopefully come up with something in the next few months. So, and I'll share this with everybody after our next board meeting when I've got the whole list correct and thorough. This might be a nice thing to have, to just give to somebody. This is what Rotary does in our community and around the world. It's just a nice short list. So, are you ready?
You did good.
All right. I'm a teacher. I can stretch out the time.
Well, my counting is kind of short since we had a winter last week.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have to count much. We had we'll see money, so it's $7.
$7.
52 beads. So, why don't you draw a number and see who gets to be the lucky guy person to see if they get to be just the last one.
Last 4 numbers are 4209.
Woo, me!
You pay where did that?
Big bucks. The big bucks. Big bucks.
Well, there you go.
My short list of things to do.
Oh.
No winner.
All right. So the movie prize is $3, almost as much as the win.
Your own ticket. 4216. 4216.
I gotta look at
I got it.
I'm 1-2. I'm 1-2.
Hold on a minute, I don't have my glasses.
It's always Alan when he gets
All right,
his spectacles.
All right. Unfortunately, 4211. So I'll do Happy Bucks. So we want to start here. Not ready?
Come back, yeah.
We'll come back. We'll start over here.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm just excited to be part of this club. A lot of energy, a lot of great things going on, and then I'll be gone next week, so here's the first.
Okay.
I'm happy my friend is being induced today. She's having her baby.
That's awesome. I'm happy, I guess, for my mom. She's having a knee replacement today, long overdue.
Oh, I'm happy I'm upright.
Ken had his follow-up appointment from his surgery and he's doing better than they expected. So it's all the nursing care.
Glad to be back for a while. All right.
Just
Something you happy about? Yeah, you can say what you're happy about, or you don't have to say
How great
that.
your grandkids are, something like that.
Well, looks like a nice group to be around.
Well, we fooled them so far. So. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
All right.
I am so happy for my engagements in this wonderful world.
Well, I have a little IOU in here as well from last week, so I'm also thrilled to be engaged and ready to plan this really fun event
This is a sad dollar for all of my friends who are Vikings fans.
Not bad.
I am happy that I was recently put as the nominating committee, on the nominating committee for the Spearfish Chamber for their awards banquet in March. And our own Kelly Harnett is a Spirit of Spearfish nominee.
Awesome.
So if you are so inclined, I would highly encourage you to flood their email with nomination forms, and I can help you do that. So let me know.
Perfect nominee. Absolutely.
I am happy to be back from my trip to DC. It was fantastic. I have to see my sister. I haven't seen her in over a year. The whole family was together for my mom's award. And it was really, really fun. Not a lot of sleep, but very fun.
I'm happy to be here today speaking to you about Ski for Light, and then afterwards going to BH to look at a place for our speaking series.
I'm gonna get to see my son, I believe next week, because he's coming out for the VA for the Ski for Life events.
He's coming to volunteer?
I believe so.
That's exciting!
You got one more over here?
I just reminded myself the Economic Development Corporation is having their annual meeting tomorrow at 5 or 5:30, and I'm not sure if it's open. Is it open to the public? It is, and so if you're, I'd highly recommend everyone go. They're going to put a video together of all the things that happened over the last year. It should be a really neat event, so highly recommend that. And that is at the. It's here. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah,
Great. And I'm just
Good thing you're
so happy to be
yeah,
here.
it's a sporting cast here.
Today, and happy to hear from Kelly. So I'll just turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. For the two that don't know me, my name is Kelly Harnett. I'm a board member in publicity and marketing for the Northern Hills Rotary. I have two other nonprofits that I founded, and I'm also on the board for the Northern Black Hills Ski for Light, and so that's the hat I'm going to wear today. First off, what I'd like to say is one of our, we do basically two fundraisers. One of them are these $500 raffle win tickets, so there's 10 in a packet. I think a lot of you have already started filling them out. They're $1 a piece. If you win, you get $500, and that money helps to go for scholarships and pay for the cost of the event, any overages that we might have. So, what is Black Hills Ski for Light? Does anybody know? Anybody have any guesses? You know.
Visually impaired individuals do a host of different activities with the assistance of guides and other volunteers.
Yes, that's correct. So we guide individuals who are blind, visually impaired, and mobility impaired with various snow sports, and then in the summer, some summer sports. To give you a little background, we founded the Black Hills Regional Ski for Light in 1979. The first event was held at Deer Mountain. We had 30 cross-country skiers, 30 guides, and 2 volunteers. 1980, downhill was added, and we had 4 participants for the downhill and 4 guides. Fast forward to this year, and we have about usually 100 participants with 150 to 250 guides. So it's huge. We basically take over Deadwood. I mean, like, we take over Deadwood. So our downhill at Terry Peak, we have several different adaptive skiing, I don't know what you call them, units, if you will. We have sit skis and we have a mono ski. The mono ski is this gentleman in the blue right here. And so that can be done with or without a guide. This gentleman knows how to ski by himself, so he's got outriggers and he can ski by himself. We have a bi-ski. In these 2 pictures, these are the sit skis with bi-skis. So they have 2 skis on them, and they are guided with a guide that holds onto it from behind. Guides also have tethers like this in case somebody falls. So they don't just go flying down the hill. We've got outriggers. This young lady right here, Kylie, she's using outriggers. She's blind and has 1 leg. This is me with her guiding. And so she's using those for balance. They're like crutches. we have a slider, which is this one up here, and it's like a walker with skis, and so we've got guides behind them. It's got tethers, so they can hold themselves up and they can get the feeling of what it feels like to just slide down the hill. And then we have one gentleman who is deaf and blind, and so we made a headband for him. Now that's a remote control remote, and that headband vibrates on the left and right. And how we communicate, because normally we communicate with a microphone system between our helmets, but he can't hear us. And so if I want him to turn to the right, I turn the remote to the right, it vibrates on the right hand side and he knows to go right. Same thing happens for the left. If I pull the trigger and tap on it, it just vibrates like this to tell him to slow down. And if I hold on it, it's a constant vibration and it tells him to stop. Now he, before he lost his sight, was an avid skier who was also an avid cyclist. And so that ability that he has really helps him to be able to do what we do with him. And so then we're going to move over to the cross country side, which we call the Meadow. That's held over at Andy's Trail Rides up across from Powder House Pass community. And we do snowshoeing and cross country skiing. We also have a cross country sit ski for these individuals. They get to enjoy Vern's special hot chocolate. It's an adult version of hot chocolate. It's really good. And they also have the absolute best food. We, at the downhill side, eat Terry Peak food the whole time during the events for lunch. They get some really awesome food. Meats donated from looters and some other community organizations that donate food, and it's very good, and all of us try to get up there to sneak their food. So. And anybody who's got a need for speed, we do snowmobiling. I don't know how to drive a snowmobile, so I've never gotten to do that. But our participants get to ride on the back of the snowmobiles, and they just have so much fun. Our two favorite events, I would say, is downhill skiing and snowmobiling, because everybody likes to go fast when they get that wind in their hair that they don't normally get to do, and a little feeling of independence. They really, really enjoy that. So the day is not over. After we're done skiing, we continue on through the night. We've got events going on Monday night at Saloon number 10. We have an entire meal, and then we have what is the chair dance. So up here in the right-hand corner, that's the chair dance. Everybody in their wheelchairs, and then able-bodied people grab whatever chair they can, turn it backwards, they sit, and we literally just dance, and it's so much fun. I usually end up with bruises on my legs because of it, but it's okay, it's fun. Tuesday night's the slot tournament and karaoke machine. That's usually my night that I go back in and kind of recuperate, because I'm actually an introvert, so I need to recoup a little bit. Wednesday night we head up to the Meadow. We have this gigantic, I mean it's huge, this gigantic bonfire. Bubba is our president, and he used to be a wildland firefighter, so he takes care of getting all the permits and everything so that we can do this, and as long as there's snow, we get to burn. And it's massive, and we have food up there, and it's great. Thursday nights are banquets. Thursday during the day, we've got downhill slalom ski races, we've got cross country and snowshoe races, and at the banquet, the first, second, and third place winners are awarded for the different categories. This is myself and Kylie right here, and we got first place.
No big deal.
No big deal. Miss Wheelchair America also attends our events, so we've had her every year. This year, I think we're getting some board members because she can't attend this year, but we're going to get some of the board members of Miss Wheelchair America, and they're also in wheelchairs, so they're going to get to experience all the fun that we get to do. In 2001, I think, nope, just kidding, 1984, we introduced the Summer Light program. In 2001, we moved it over to Camp Bob Marshall in Custer. And it's a short weekend camp trip because every adult should actually, attend summer camp. They really should. If you haven't, you need to do it. It's fun. So we have tandem bicycles that we take blind individuals and visually impaired individuals out bicycling. We have canoes, and we have paddle boats and campfires and all kinds of fun stuff. It really is just like summer camp. It's a lot of fun. It's held in August, the last weekend in August, I think. So fundraising, how do we get to do all of this? Well, of course, we have sponsors for our events, and those are all in the program, but we also offer scholarships to our participants who cannot afford to get there. I shouldn't say afford to get there, can't afford to participate. They do have to pay for their own cost to get there, but the cost while they're there, we will offer them a scholarship. It's around, I think it's up to $450 now. It's just with the inflation, it's gone up. So we host our annual ski swap in October. That's usually up in Rapid City at the monument. That'll bring in $20,000 to $40,000 annually. It's a great way for families with kids that are growing to go and get a cheaper pair of skis and boots rather than buying brand new every year. Or if you tried out skiing and you're like, no, not happening, you can get rid of your stuff. So a lot of people will donate their gear. Some people will consign it, and we do have retailers from around the area that come and bring stuff, and they pay a consignment fee for everything that they sell. We always need volunteers. You don't have to know how to downhill ski, you don't have to know how to cross country snowshoe, you don't know how to drive a snowmobile. We right now are still looking for somebody to take care of the service dogs while everybody else is out playing. So we have a need. We have a need for individuals who can just be inside and talk with them while their guide is out, because we are short for downhill ski guides, which means I don't sit the entire week. I am literally taking one person out after another, and I can't be with my person all the time, and so I need somebody else to sit and talk with them and keep them company, help get them down to use the restroom, get their food, maybe help them get their gear on and off. And the same thing over at the meadow. So there's a lot of need for people who don't have the ability to ski, whether it's downhill or cross country. So if anybody is interested, next year, please let me know. We'll get you on the mailing list. We would love to have you. We have a Sunday orientation at the Mineral Palace, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the event, and then everybody goes home on Friday. All right, this is where I'm crying. I can't talk about this.
I won the bet.
Without crying. If you have any doubt of what this experience is like for you as a volunteer or a guide, just give it one day. It will touch your life like you would not believe. It literally changed my life. I volunteered in 2014. These people trusted me with their life to guide them down the hill, right? That's terrifying. Could you do that? I can't do it. There's no way. I could never trust somebody. They were like, hey, we're gonna give you what it feels like. We're gonna blindfold you and take you down the hill. And I was like, not happening. Not happening. Can't do it. So, it's amazing the trust that these people have and the freedom that you give them by being able to do this. So, Kylie, who I'm going to show right here, if I know how to do this thing, she started in 2015, I think is when I met her, and that's when I became a board member. She was skiing with a couple of gentlemen, and no fault of their own. They're good skiers, but they didn't know how to teach her how to ski. And being that she only had one leg, it was hard. And so she spent a lot of time falling down and basically not having a lot of fun. She had fun, but it wasn't as much fun. The next year I paired up with her. I grabbed a ski instructor and 2 other guides for our first run down. And the ski instructor was able to give her some verbal advice, and I skied backwards and held onto the tip of her ski, and I guided it so she could feel what it felt like. Once she felt what that ski was supposed to do, she could ski. She was that good. She's a skipper on a sailing team, an entirely blind sailing team with one person that is sighted, that gives her information, and she calls out everything to the rest of her team. And they win a lot. I mean, this woman is phenomenal. She's brilliant. The other gentleman I'm going to talk about is Steve. He's the one that's deaf and blind, and I just wanted to kind of show you what it looked like when I was guiding him. So I think you'll have to forgive me because I'm not exactly sure if this is going to work right. I did this, it didn't make it big. Okay, there we go. I feel the lip in about 3, 2, 1. There you go. And you're on the snow. Go ahead and turn left. You got this. Okay, keep going straight. A little to your left. Okay, a little to the right. There's a sign right in front of you. Too much right. There you go. Now go straight. She's talking to me, but you can't hear what she's saying, and I'm laughing at it. She gives me a hard time a lot. Perfect. Currently kind of have this to ourselves, so I won't give you much guidance again. Make a short left and go right. Yep. So when we had the hill to ourselves, I stopped giving her cues and telling her what to do.
You
I
do have a
was trusting
snowboarder
her
to your left, but they're just kind of standing there for now.
to make her own decisions.
Okay. You need to go some left now because we're getting to the course. Good job, good job. Yeah! Okay, a little more left now because we're getting too close to the track. There you go. Ride that out for a little bit. Okay, some left. A little right. And some left. So we're gonna ski backwards. Look at you. Show off.
So now she's trying out the mono ski, and we have a guide, Tim, with her because obviously she can't see, but she wanted to see what it felt like and see if she could do it. So he's talking to her, telling her what to do.
Who supplies that special equipment like that?
So when I joined in 2015, we needed new equipment, and so I sought out about $10,000 donation from somebody for our equipment, and then I worked with Enable Sports out of Colorado, I think it was, to have them give us a discount so that we could buy pretty much all new equipment. Okay, so here's Steve, and you'll notice I'm not talking in this because obviously he can't hear me, so there's no point in talking.
And he's blind as well?
He's blind and deaf, and she was blind and one-legged. So you see I've got the control in my hand, and I'll be turning it left and right so that he knows where to go. Isn't that impressive? I'm just so impressed by these people. Oh, yeah. It's just cool. I'm just, every time I go, every year, every day, every second, every time we go down a hill and I see somebody doing something that shouldn't be doing that, right? I mean, they shouldn't be able to do that, and they're doing it, and it's just It's so awesome. We obviously had to not hold our event when COVID happened, and so the next year when we had this, and every year on our Facebook page, are you going? Are you going? Are you going? And we have somebody who counts down the days from like the last day of the event until the next first day. They live for this event. They come back every year. They tell their friends. They bring their friends. So it's a lot of fun. So I am not going to read this. I am going to have somebody else read it because I will start crying. So if anybody wants to volunteer to read that for everybody, because I know it's small, I would love for that to happen.
Let's have the guy who bet you were gonna cry.
Yeah. Tony?
Yeah.
The last day of skiing today, and I managed 10 perfect runs down the bunny hill. I even managed to pick up the pace enough to get speed wobbles.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be able to ski down the slope, picking up turns, speeding and slowing down a hill. I had 2 runs down with the mono ski, but straight back out on a 3 track to make the most snow, which was pelting down. I don't know ski lingo.
Pelting is just pouring down.
All day. By the end of the afternoon, I was skiing in full blown blizzard of 10 inches of snow throughout the day, and wind picking up to reduce visibility to meters, 2 meters. The only reason I stopped skiing was because everyone packed up and it was about time to go, although I managed to sneak in an extra 5 runs. I had to leave the snow for another year. Such an amazing week and amazing guy to talk me through and trust me to pick up my own turn. It's so much fun.
Go Kelly. I do the easy part. They do the hard part.
What's the average age, Kelly? Or is it like all, like?
Mostly 18, above 18.
Okay.
So mostly above 18.
But it can be under 18?
I think it can be under 18, but their parents have to
Yeah.
them. So we've had a couple last year, and she just passed on December 6th or 9th. We made a bucket list dream come true for a 99-year-old.
Wow.
Wanted to go down and ski.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. So she came and we took her down in a bucket, yes.
Where do your participants come from?
Everywhere, all over the United States. Kylie is from Perth, Australia. We also have some that come from England and Canada. So they literally come.
And they all come here?
They all come here.
Is there other events like this in other states?
There's Ski for Light International, which hosts events, but we're told that by our participants that this one is actually their favorite, so they come to us instead of theirs.
That's no big deal.
That's okay. Oh, they have so much fun. Like they'll have races up and down the stairs at the hotels. They do whatever they can. Kylie raced through. She wanted to race up the stairs at Terry Peak in our ski boots. And I don't know if anybody's ever walked in ski boots. They're not easy to walk in. And I had to do it on one leg with my eyes closed using one of her crutches. She did it on the other. She beat me so bad. So bad. The last thing I'm going to show is I grabbed a interview from last year off of News Center 1. This is one of our participants, Tara. She's from Sioux Falls. She comes every year. I don't think she's ever missed. She's been here for like this will be her 20th year, I think. Also some words from her guide, and then one of our other board members, Tim Brumbaugh.
Ski for Light started in 1979, so we've been going for 43 years. It's about a 60-40 split. 60% of the participants are on the cross country, 40% on the downhill. And we do impaired vision downhill. We also do people in sled skis that are paraplegics, blind people that don't want to ski but just want to go for rides, and a variety of other things. So if somebody wants to come up and try and ski, we can handle about anybody.
I've been here for 19 years. Coming, try to look forward to it every year. Can't wait to come back every year.
People that come here look so
what was the inspiration to start, for someone to start this organization, and like, what drew you in particular to join it or like participate in this group as well?
Okay, so Ski for Light International hosted one of their events at Deer Mountain back in the day in 1978, and some locals joined to guide, and they went, this is phenomenal. I mean, you do it for a day and you're addicted to it, because the high you get, just everybody's so happy, and so that's also why I joined. So they decided to form their own, and literally the next year they had the Black Hills Regional Ski for Light. I moved up from the Southern Hills to Belfouche in 13, and I started skiing when I was 3, and so since I was close enough to Terry Peak, I'm like, I'm getting a pass, I'm gonna go skiing every weekend. Literally my house didn't get cleaned all ski season. And I met a gentleman there named Steve Sewell. He is an Army National Guard, actually just moved to Pierre, and he told me about Ski for Light. He goes, you need to do this. Well, I couldn't do it that year because I didn't have the time off. I started a new job. So the next year I saved up 5 vacation days and put in for the vacation time and volunteered, and was like, okay, it's happening. Just, gonna do it every year now. And they asked me in the following year if I was interested in being a board member, and I said, well, I've got a lot on my plate, so if you're okay with me not, being at every single event that we're at, then I'm happy to do that. And they said, yeah, that's totally fine. So I've been a board member since 15 and a volunteer since 14. And like I said, if you do it once, you're never going to want to stop. It's very addicting. It's very fulfilling.
When is it normally, Kelly? What month?
It's next week. So it's the last full week in January. So it starts on the Sunday. Everybody comes rolling in. I think around 2 o'clock is when they start getting there. Well, we're upstairs setting up for registration and packet pickup and everything. We have a brief orientation for those who haven't ever been there, which is usually 30 to 50 people. There's, you always have somebody new, whether they're a guide or they're a participant. And then everybody goes back to their hotel room and doesn't sleep because they're really excited for the next day. Monday, all of us guides, we head up to Terry Peak. We're up to the meadow fairly early. We'll get there about 7. The participants get there about 9. We do a brief instruction for anybody who's never guided before and kind of get everything sorted out. We get the helmets all sorted out so that everybody, we have the person that does the sign in for the helmets and the sign out, and just we take over Terry Peak. If you've ever been there into the Stewart Lodge, there's a whole dining area, and we take over that entire area. And then just continue through the events, and then everybody's really sad on Thursday because they gotta go home.
Now, is Terry Peak closed to the public?
No.
Those days, or?
No,
What are you doing? It's really crowded.
Oh, yeah, extra watchful. So usually on Thursdays when we're doing our downhill races, there's also ski school, and Lee Deadwood kids or Spearfish kids are up there for a trip for their school. So we have volunteers and guides literally just standing all the way around our courses to keep people from cutting through them so that they don't get hit. So yeah, we have to be very mindful and watch. That's why we wear the big vests, and hopefully everybody else is watching for us too.
What levels do you have? Supposed people keep coming back. You have some really good skiers
There are
too.
some,
So
yeah.
So it's not just the lower part of Stewart Lodge.
No, not typically, because we've got some people that are in a mono ski that they can ski everywhere on Terry Peak. Yep. We have some individuals who are visually impaired that are in really good skiers that can ski down Kusi, which is one of the harder blue runs. It's long and steep, and they can handle it as long as their guide is good. So when they get here, we have to find out, do you need an all area pass or just a bunny hill pass, and get everybody sorted out. Any other questions?
When do your volunteers sign up, or where do they sign up at?
You can go to our website, bhsfl.org, and you can sign up with an online form there, or there's a paper form. If you wanna get me your address, I can have one sent to you next week, or next year, get you on the mailing list.
I'm gonna sign up for my grandson.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And he's working before.
Has he?
Yeah,
What's his name?
Noah Pike.
I know the name.
Yeah, so he's worked up there. Let's see if he went before, but I haven't heard anything about it this year, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know if he, yeah.
I'm gonna have to give him time off from work, but he will.
Oh, we would love that, we would love that. Yes.
What kind of runs does Dylan do? Do you know? I think Gavin's usually his guy, but.
He's in the chair, isn't he?
Yeah. Dylan is my brother-in-law, and he's quadriplegic, so he can't move his arms or legs, so they usually strap him in like the.
Yep, so they'll put him in the monoski. It depends on how comfortable his guide is. Those guides will take you wherever you wanna go. We've gone down to Black Diamonds. We've, so,
It
yeah.
sounds just like him to be like, I'm gonna do the hardest one ever, so.
Yeah.
And they never tell me, obviously.
A few years ago, one of our own ski patrol ended up having an accident, and he ended up paralyzed from the waist down.
Oh, no.
And now he is in a sit ski, and I don't know if he'll be here this year or not, but he's come back a few times, and he was super athletic before, so he just, I mean, he wasn't letting that stop him, and now he's in a sit ski tearing up the snow again.
I'm sure it varies, but I mean, how long does it take for some of these people to like overcome the fear? Because I mean, skiing can be terrifying for someone who has sight and hearing, let alone someone who doesn't. I mean, how do they overcome that, or how long does it take typically? Can it take?
Well, Kylie wasn't scared at all, man. She was gung ho. She was just like, tell me what to do, and she went, and she kept falling, and she didn't even care. But there are, individuals that are scared, so we can start them off on the slider where they are holding on to it like, like a walker, and keep them really slow. They can get a feel with it, and then we can move them to where we have a guide on each side, and we hold a piece of bamboo rod in between us, and we're keeping them slow and teaching them what they need to do to ski, and then when they're finally comfortable, if they want to try it on their own, just go up that magic carpet and
I was gonna say it's almost the opposite, because there's only so much they can do in life now.
Yeah.
Like Dylan, this is literally his only thing.
Yeah.
Every year that he can do. We can play like card games, like very specific card games.
Yeah.
But he is talking about ski for like all year long. So he does not care if he smacks into a tree.
That's hilarious.
I imagine that's probably the case for her.
Yeah, they are just, they wanna be out there, they wanna do it. The freedom that it gives them is, like Tara said, she feels like she doesn't have disability, and we hear that with everybody.
So how many participants do you usually have at each?
About 100, and then we have about 150 to 200 volunteers.
And do you have room for more each year?
Always, yeah.
And how do you promote it? Where do you go to promote this? To make people use
Like this, we talk about it. It's on the news when they do the ski swap. We start talking about how we're also looking for volunteers. So,
if you partner with like Paralympics or
they actually use some of our gear. The next week they're up there, I think, and they use some of our gear. So I mean, it's out there, but it's not out there. It really could be out there more, I think. But they've been around for 44 years, so most of the locals, if you're a skier, you know about it. But if you're not a skier, you don't know about it, and that's where I think that we could do a little bit better, because we always need non-skiing volunteers. So the hard part is that it's really good to have the volunteer for the entire week, and some people, a lot of people just can't do that.
So everybody fill up the book of raffle tickets.
How long does
$1
it
a
take
piece, and give them to her.
How long does it take your legs to recover after 5 days on the mountain?
You know what?
You need a 2-week vacation.
It's a lot harder to ski slow.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Than it is for me to go barreling down the hill like I normally do, and so I won't ski. Normally I ski every weekend, so I won't ski this coming weekend because I'll be out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I won't ski Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. by the next weekend I'll be ready to go. I'll be recovering everything. I'll be so tired and
Yeah.
sore and, yeah.
We'll get your scooter.
Any other questions?
I think I kind of understand the reason behind the name Ski for Light, but is there any official context or story behind it?
I'm sure there is. I honestly don't know it. It stems from Ski for Light International.
Okay.
That's what we took the name from, but I have no idea.
Where
really
was
what
that
it is.
founded, Ski for Light International, do you know? Was it the United States or
No,
was it?
I don't remember. For some reason I'm thinking it's Europe, but I could be completely wrong. Completely wrong. Anything else?
Keller?
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Well, have a great rest of the week, and we've got 5 minutes. We can just chat if we want, but you're on your own. See you next week.
So, you go to the news. So,